dear class, and thank you for attending our presentation. My fellow students and I are going to talk about nothing less than marketing. First, we will introduce you our subject, and then we give you a theoretical approach. And to illustrate all of this, we will set up a fictitious company, and afterwards we conclude our findings. Probably you have already all been infected by marketeers, and if you pretend you haven't, then you are lying. Because marketeers are sly people, but companies need them desperately to, because of their efforts, they affect the firm performance significantly, as we will show you in our presentation.
In order to examine the influence of the marketing on the firm performance, we emphasized only one main subject, namely the interdepartmental marketing. By that we mean the overall integration of a marketing department in a company. We looked at communication and cooperation between a marketing department and other important divisions. Above all, we investigated whether this integration could help companies to put up a tremendous performance.
As we all assumed, research found out that interdepartmental marketing boosts the firm performance, especially in these hard-changing times. The more collaboration and communication between several departments, the more a company is successful. We particularly stress on the major changes companies are confronted with nowadays. They have to deal with international competition in order to survive, and they are forced to use high-tech technology to Moreover, customers are becoming extremely powerful in business life nowadays. They, in consequence of their widespread information through, for example, the World Wide Web, and because of the large choice of alternative goods, companies have to guarantee quality at a decent price.
To resume, if companies don't react in a quick and flexible way to the increasing complexity in business, they simply won't make it. Research and case studies suggest that on the one hand coordination and on the other hand communication are the key elements to set up a structure and a culture that allows the company to become successful and competitive. We won't discuss all the changes companies are facing and their possible reactions to it, but as to our main subject, we want to point out the importance of the interdepartmental marketing.
Yes, that's true. In case of no communication, no cooperation between the several departments in a company, there is a horrible chance that the several departments will lead a life of their own, and managers are striving for their particular goals, but by doing so, the main objectives of the company won't be achieved. So, in case of lack of communication, possible errors won't come to light at all.
In order to illustrate you the interdepartmental marketing, we present you to our fake company, where everything goes wrong as a consequence of bad communication between the marketing department on the one hand and research and development, manufacturing and financial department on the other hand. Afterwards, we rewind and set up a successful company.
So maybe present you
Dupont Bakeries.
We are a company that produces biscuits, and for now we want to set up a brand new action focused on students. So soon the examinations start, and we want to support those poor kids by offering them a delicious cookie. Of course, in order to sell many products and make a lot of money, we need to know which specific tidbit they prefer, and that's a typical job for the marketing manager.
Yes, indeed. My name is Tessa, and I'm fully responsible for the marketing department in our company. And as Annalene just explained, we are looking for a tremendous biscuit. So, my team and I have to know which flavor and other characteristics of the biscuit our target group students prefer. So, if I may ask you, Didri, do you prefer a cookie with chocolate or rather without chocolate?
with chocolate.
And Miss, with your blonde hair, do you prefer a cookie that's dry, or do you want to have some that doesn't crumble at all?
It
Doesn't crumble. Okay. Thank you for your input. So before we did our presentation, we went to a couple of students and we asked them some questions. And our results were as follows. So they want to have a dry biscuit with chocolate taste, of course. It must be cheap, limited packaging because they don't want to have unnecessary waste. And above all, it mustn't be too crumbly. Now we collected our results. I went to the R&D department, and meanwhile I was already thinking of some sales promotion campaigns, free samples, television spot, etc., etc.
I'm Charlotte and I'm responsible for the research and development department, and as all of you know without a doubt, the R&D takes care of developing new products and improving already existing ones. Well, as Tessa came to me with the results of the market research, I began to wonder how this could be realized. Me and my team took off with serious research, but soon we realized there were different difficulties. We struggled with the fact of creating a biscuit that's on the one hand dry, and on the other hand it doesn't crumble. We weren't able to discover the ideal combination that contains both of these characteristics. So, but as I am the head of the R&D department, I decided without consulting the marketing and just to create a biscuit that's only less different from our other ones. It's a little bit dry and not really crumbly, but I think it tastes just fine. And so I passed my recipe to the manufacturing department of Anneli.
As I am head of the manufacturing department, our main job is to convert the input into the final product through the different phases of the production process. We make sure that the transformation of the raw materials such as flour, sugar and chocolate into our biscuit is as efficient as possible. Therefore, we align our machines in such a way that we minimize the total waste. So when Charlotte came to me with her recipe, I made sure that the machines were perfectly ready for the production. We had little waste and we were able to produce a large amount of biscuits. Even though at the end me and my team didn't quite know which wrapping we needed to use, and as the marketing department didn't brief me about anything particular, I assumed we could use the standard package, namely 2 biscuits together in a colorful paper with our logo.
My name is Lise, and as I'm responsible for the financial department, my job consists of calculating the company's profit and make sure that it covers at least all of the employees' wages and all the important costs. For that reason, I need to figure out the cost of a single product made by DuPont bakeries. For that, I need a lot of information from all of the other departments and especially from the manufacturer. The cost of the biscuit we're making must be as low as possible. But when I checked all the costs that were made during the production process, I realized that the cost of the biscuit would be rather high. Not only the large campaign of promotion campaign of Tessa, but also the many packages were used during by the manufacturing division must be calculated in. So I just did my job and passed my report to the CEO and the stockholders. After a couple of months, we had to conclude that the biscuits didn't sell well at all. Many students thought they were too crumbly and for not dry enough, so they didn't buy them. As a result, we had to face disappointing sales, and our company, DuPont Bakeries, had to bear a loss.
So, as you all have noticed by now, these lacks of communication don't seem to help the company to improve their firm performance. So let's rewind, we go back from where we started and we do it all over again. We start from the same results my team and I collected from our market research, and again a dry cookie, not too crumbly, with chocolate, were the characteristics our target group preferred. I went to the R&D department with my results.
Well, again, Tessa came to me with the collected expectations for a new production, but unfortunately, the problem remains the same. We weren't capable of creating such a biscuit that contains the wishes of the marketing department and therefore the students. So, but only this time I appealed to the head of marketing in order to discuss this problem together. So, Tessa, do you have an idea how we could solve this problem?
Yes. Well, if you say that it's not manageable to produce a biscuit that is all right, so I suggest that we reanalyze our findings, and by doing so, I found out that the students mostly prefer a cookie that doesn't crumble a lot. So maybe you could focus on that.
Yeah, okay, that it will be. So our team, research and development, has created a biscuit that's not crumbly and passed it to the manufacturing department.
So now that we have our desirable biscuit, it should have packaging that goes together with its shape. And we found out that the students want packaging that opens quickly and that they can close again whenever they want. These two last desires were reckoned in thanks to the interdepartmental communication between the two divisions, marketing and manufacturing. And so this time we couldn't use the standard packaging, so we needed to adapt the machine so that they produced the packages we wanted. Now that the product is completed, it's time to launch it.
But not before we even calculated the costs. As the product was developed, I already collected some costs. First of all, we got costs of the marketing department when it was some research considering the biscuits. And of course, we've got the cost of research and development, though that part was rather high.
Yeah, they might be rather high, but they were unavoidable if we want to match the needs of the students.
And don't forget to calculate the costs for the adapting of the machines. But as we used less packaging, the cost per piece is less.
Of course, I did that already. And then the only thing left is to launch the products, and what division would be more suitable for that event than the marketing department. Meanwhile, the product was developed and manufactured. I already had a meeting with Tessa about the budget for promotion. Tessa brought up many ideas considering this promotion part. Unfortunately, I couldn't give her the budget she wanted or needed for all of that. As a result, we needed to discuss the different advertisement and publicity options and picked out those who seemed the most profitable. Now that we've added up all the costs, we can define the selling price and finally launch the product.
Yeah, the biscuit is maybe as expensive as before, but now we're sure that the students would like it more. So our sales are increasing and we are able to make profit. So let's say mission accomplished.
So we can conclude now that interdepartmental marketing between the departments inside the company is very important. It's the key element. It gives you a culture, a structure that allow the company to set up a competitive production process. And marketing has become the central point of view. But however, we have to underline the fact that it is also important to have communication between the other departments without considering marketing. We would like to we would like to show you and taste a cookie that we have developed and